What's up, everybody? Mike Lindsley back with you. It's great to talk with you a little Bills football here on the Built in Buffalo Podcast Network. Make sure you get us at builtinbuffalonews.com, all over the podcast platform. Download, subscribe, rate, and review. And, of course, subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. You name it, we're doing it. Buffalo Bills content 7 days a week. And with that, today, Sean McDermott mentioning that it's, day-to-day for Josh Allen. I don't think the guy's going to play. It's just my hunch. It's just a guess. I have no inside information. But I just think that, this week is going to be so limited. He's a wicked competitor. He'll probably try to get out there, but I don't think that he'll play. I do think, though, that the Bills can beat the Vikings without Josh Allen. However, two things need to happen, okay? They've got to have the defensive line, and I'm going in not in order here. The defensive line has got to step up and have a big game. Now, we've heard that there's non-contact jersey practices for, Milano and Dane Jackson. Will Trey White be back? Hopefully you get Poyer back. I mean, it's just so many guys who are out, as we know. The Bills have been dealing with so many injuries here in 2022. But the reality is, the defensive line needs to come to play. They are not getting pressure on the quarterback. They're not doing a great job against the run defense. That defensive line has been really, I think, falling apart, this season. And so it's time for Von Miller. It's time for Epinesa. It's time for Boogie Basham. No Greg Rousseau in this game, of course, with the high ankle deal. But they've got to start to perform and stop the run and get to the quarterback. Kirk Cousins from Minnesota does not throw a great, deep, accurate ball. And he is prone in the fourth quarter. Big stage, bright lights and all that, even though it's a day game at 1 o'clock. He is prone to turn the ball over, and he has not turned the ball over a ton this year, so he's due for some of those, unless this is a new Kirk Cousins. So that's number two. Number one is absolutely, whether it's Josh Allen or Case Keenum, whoever it is, they've got to sustain drives and convert drives. Converting the drives has been a killer for the Bills, especially last week against the Jets. They screwed around against the Packers the week before that. Last week against the Jets, they were a 14-3. They could have really put a nail in the coffin on the New York Jets, and they just didn't convert drives, right? Josh Allen throwing a couple of bad picks, a couple other, things happening, stalling, drops, you name it. The Bills are just not converting enough drives right now. They need to, when they get into the red zone, finish the job, get 6 points, and really put some pressure on the Vikings. I am going to take the Bills in this game. I think they win close, maybe by 3 to 6 points, simply based upon the fact that they're A, home, B, really, really hungry, and C, maybe getting some big-time defensive players back. They got to get Dawson Knox back in it a little bit. They haven't targeted him enough. He hasn't really produced since he signed the big contract. They need Gabe Davis to, get his head out of his ass and start catching the freaking football. I mean, even with all of last week's problems against the Jets and just an egregious holding call against Deion Dawkins, I thought that was bullcrap. He basically moved the defender over and pancaked him, and they called holding. If that's holding, let's just stop playing football right now. Josh Allen made a great rope throw to the right sideline to Stephon Diggs, goes over midfield. The Bills are in business. I'm convinced if that hold doesn't get called, I think the Bills at least tie it with a field goal and go into overtime and have a chance to win it. As it turned out, they were backed way up. They had, I think, a 4th and long, and Gabe Davis, Josh Allen with a dinged up UCL, throws it way down the left sideline, and it's in the breadbasket. Even though Sauce Gardner, a little PI there, didn't turn around, pulled the jersey a little bit, whatever, the ball was still right there for Gabe Davis to catch, and it hits him in the face mask and hands, and he drops it. You got to have those plays, man. You got to have Davis and Knox. You got to do more with the screen game. Where's Nyheim Hines? Let's go. You got to get these guys going, and then you got to convert the drive when you're down in the red zone. If the Bills can do that and the defensive line comes to play along with more health, well, I think the Bills get the job done at home, where they've been very good this year at 3-0. Hey, Built in Buffalo Podcast Network. Make sure you download, subscribe, rate, and review. I'm Mike Lindsley. My Pandemonium podcast this week, a very good one. Kevin Connors, ESPN, a great studio host and Sports Center anchor, is a diehard Bills fan. We talked all things Bills, and Sal Majorana from the Rochester Democrat and Chronicle came on as well. We talked Vikings week. We talked worrying about Josh Allen, the run defense. Is it time to worry? Are the Bills going to be okay? All that kind of stuff lumped in there. And Kevin and Sal were just fantastic. So hopefully you can have a listen to that. BuiltInBuffaloNews.com. We're doing the podcast thing. We're doing audio. We're doing video. We're doing articles 7 days a week across the social channels and on the Built in Buffalo Podcast Network, where you can listen to all the shows as well. I'm Mike Lindsley. Again, thanks for watching. You can hit me on Twitter at Mike L Sports. And as I always tell you, enjoy the games.